All right, fire 'em up!
Well, I would have to say that the M3GAN movie was interesting. With all of the AI floating around on the internet, I am completely in agreement that, hey, we need to get this looked at, keep this in check. So many deep fakes and everything out there going on. So I am totally a proponent for keeping AI in check. I mean, there are so many ways that this thing can become a threat to not just, our own personal information, but to our very lives. So with that, M3GAN 2.0 was pretty much the idea of that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to let you know that, hey, AI can very much be dangerous. I mean, that was the first movie, that was the second movie, but I think they kind of went off the rails trying to tell us that. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out why they actually spelled the name M3GAN 2.0. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much spelled M3GAN the exact same way with the 3 in the first film. But even then, I was still trying to figure out why did they put a 3 in this? It's only one killer robot, whatever. She's not the third version of anything. I guess maybe with this one, with M3GAN coming back, and then there's a third killer AI robot that's running around that's a threat. So I guess maybe now you have 3 with M3GAN popping up twice in this new one. So maybe that's why, but that doesn't explain why they had it in the original movie. Yeah, I went off on a whole tangent, but that kind of confused me. So yeah, M3GAN is back. Her former programmer, Gemma, has to rebuild her because she has to go up against Amelia, who is this military-grade, heavily upgraded version of the same AI that M3GAN was. So now M3GAN has to get newer weapons and newer abilities in order to take it down because Amelia, much like M3GAN in the first movie, doesn't really want to listen to anybody, wants her own autonomy, and she's willing to kill anybody that gets in her way in order to get it. And if you can understand all that, I'm glad, because that is pretty much the only thing about this film that is straightforward and completely understandable. Everything else in this film kind of just hits you and then goes left. Right when you think this film is completely just horror sci-fi, much like the first one, it goes into 3 or 4 other genres that I was not expecting this film to go into. Not necessarily that that's a bad thing, but I did not see it coming. And while the film is indeed labeled horror sci-fi, at least with the first movie, there was a good mix of those two. And this one is labeled horror sci-fi, but there is so much more in this movie. There's action, there's comedy, oddly enough. There's this mashup of sci-fi comedy and just crude horror. It's just a amalgamation of so many different genres I was not expecting to get into this movie. And it's kind of crazy. I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm not the only person who's seeing this and is thinking and has said out loud in the movie theater while I was watching this, did not see that coming. Not that it's not entertaining, but did not see that coming. I mean, seriously, the first movie was more of a slasher film, like those old school, really good horror films that's kind of low budget, but still a hell of a lot of fun to watch. Nothing wrong with that again. But this one is more action packed with a little bit of comedy thrown into it. Summer blockbuster. And I don't think that they really tried to do that on purpose, or maybe they did. I'm pretty sure while watching this film, the writer had gotten a call from somebody saying, hey, we read some of the things that you threw into this movie. I don't think you have a horror sci-fi. I think you have an action movie going on. And he said, no, I don't think so. And then they passed the script back with a little note circled to it. And I think he called them back and said, you know what? I think you might be right. Oh, fuck it. Go for it. And I really have to press that home about just how off guard I was caught while watching M3GAN 2.0. There's just so many conflicting tones. It's like 1 minute you're in this horror film, and then all of a sudden there's jokes, there's comedy. M3GAN is flying. She has on goggles. It looks kind of like Sky High, and I am just blown away by how much in this film just does not mesh very well. And I can't be the only person, because thus far at the box office, it hasn't even recouped its money, and the budget was only $15 to $25 million ish, and it hasn't recouped its budget yet. So I got a feeling this movie's just gonna flop altogether. I got to give credit to the cast. Everybody is really good. Allison Williams coming back as Jenna, Ivana Sakno as Amelia, and you know you have the same people doing the voice and the body acting for M3GAN. Everybody's really good. I don't think they had a lot to work with in this film, and a film like this, there's not going to be a whole lot of meat on the bones. You're going to get what you get, but they actually play their parts well. Everybody's believable, and again, it's not really the acting or the direction. It's literally the tone of the film. There's just so many things that are all over the place. I cannot stress that enough. And again, it's not because it's not good. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's just so much of it going on that it's kind of hard to zero in on one thing and just say, okay, that's good or that's bad. It's just all over the place. Granted, while I have not seen M3GAN, the first film, in quite a while, I don't remember it having this much conflict within the tone and the direction of the film. So watching this newer one, this M3GAN 2.0, and trying to figure out what's going on in this film, I can't rate it any more than a 5. I'm not saying it's a terrible movie. By no stretch of the imagination is it terrible. We've seen terrible movies. But this one isn't so bad where I would call it terrible. It's just that it does not have enough straightforward flow. It gets going in one direction, then takes a hard left and goes somewhere else. And then once you decide that, okay, we're in this stream, I'm going to go with it, then it turns, goes right and goes somewhere else again. And you are left completely confused about what's the point of how this movie is being told. Yes, true indeed. It's listed as horror and sci-fi, and even with the first film, it was indeed listed under dark comedy. There's a lot of things going on in the first film, but at least with the first film, the director and how they told the movie and how the cast acted it out, everything with that film, it was pretty much horror sci-fi, and then we're just going to sprinkle in all these other things, where this one decides, nope, give me 10 minutes. We're leaning heavy into the action. In the next 10 minutes, lean heavy into the horror. 10 minutes after that, we lean heavy back into the comedy. And then it goes in spurts like that the entire film. And honestly, that doesn't, for me personally, that doesn't make for a good movie watching experience. We want our films to be linear and then everything to make sense in how the story is told. But with M3GAN 2.0, it's just all over the place. Quite to the opinion, if you haven't seen it in theaters, don't go see it. Just wait. It'll be on streaming. Save your money. Sit at home, pop popcorn. I promise you, it'll be a much better time if you sat at home, and most likely you can have a few drinks while you watch it. So that's what I thought of M3GAN 2.0. You get down in the comments and tell me what you thought of it if you've seen it. And if you haven't seen it, again, don't go to the theater and see it. Just wait. It'll hit streaming probably in 2 weeks, because the movie, like I said, isn't doing very well at the box office. On a budget of, at most, if I'm not mistaken, is about $25 million. That should have been made back in its first weekend. I'm not expecting it to do anywhere close to its original run, which was, if I'm not mistaken, like $185 million on a $15 million budget. So I'm not expecting this one to come anywhere close to that one. If this one makes its money back and breaks even, I'll still be surprised. But again, if you've seen it, let me know your thoughts. And as a matter of fact, you tell me what your favorite horror sci-fi movie, because this one kind of leans toward how, the second Terminator and the Aliens, the second movie in that franchise, kind of went with less comedy in those two versus this one. But they did it a hell of a lot better than this one. So you let me know what your favorite horror sci-fi movie is as well, along with your opinion of the film if you've seen it. That's it for now, and we shall end this video the same way we end all videos. God bless, I love you, and peace. See you next time.